Hello and welcome to my guide to Illidan. As you can see, my many names here, all of which have been changed. The reason I'm making this is basically Phase 2 is the hardest part of the encounter. It's what a lot of guilds get stuck on, and it's just kind of an instructional thing for everyone. Here we're just coming out of Phase 1, running into position to Phase 2. I'm going to grab my flame. I'm going to take the right hand flame, and what I do is I grab him as quickly as I can, snap back with shield slam, and pull him back to a certain point. You can see that line there that he's tanking, that he's on. I don't ever pull him past that line, so as not to leash him and cause an enrage or a charge or anything. Okay, I wait for the first flame blast, then I move. I flip him around as quickly as possible. Okay, all the while keeping an eye on that blue beam. And of course people are calling it on vent because it's really hard to see sometimes. Okay, I try to keep the flame as close to that group there that you can see on my right as possible without getting them caught in a blaze. Okay. And then I slowly back them up. The key is to back them up slowly enough so that you have enough room to kite and can keep a tightly compacted area, but quickly enough so that you don't need extra blazes, because those things stack, those little yellow flames everywhere, and those are called blaze, and they stack quickly. Okay, so I can see the other tank in the right hand side, and I know that we're pretty much good because he's about as far as I am along the path. Okay, I'm getting towards the end of the path, and so is he. And you can see there's, well, it's kind of hard to see now with the fire, but there's another indicator on the ground there, another crack in the ground that tells me basically where I can't go past. Okay, and he's got the same. I try to keep the mob inside that circle, that ring there right in front of me to the left as possible. Okay, you can see here I-beams coming through. The most important thing when an I-beam's coming through is not to get hit by it. Shield wall is the only thing that will let you survive that, maybe a last stand if you're really lucky. But that's paramount. When that I-beam comes out, you have to move out of it. I was at risk there of getting a charge, but it's worth the risk, because you're less likely to wipe to that. I could have shield walled, but I decided it wasn't worth it, and I was close enough in that it wouldn't be an issue. Okay, I'm getting back to the starting point now. You can see I'm pulling him back to the crack. I can go past the crack, he cannot. It's very important that you notice that. And as you can see, I wait for the fire to go off, the flame, before I flip him around. That's so as I'm turning him, he doesn't turn around and hit one of those close groups, because it is a frontal attack, and it has, like, I've hit groups with it before. We've lived through it, and sometimes it causes wipes. It's really something you don't want to deal with. As you probably can see, shield reflect will kill those blue flames. It'll mitigate a little bit of damage to kill them. They don't do a whole lot to a fire resist tank, but what it does allow you to do is have more melee DPS in. Our strategy is we have a druid tank and a warrior tank. I'm going to take less damage as the warrior tank. He's going to have more aggro as the druid tank, theoretically. So basically we can open up on his really soon. So we've got dots going on mine and stuff, that's why he's lower health, but they're mainly focused on that one. In fact, all the melee's on that side right now. As you can see, it's kind of weird from this angle, but we have 4 camps. We have a north camp and a south camp. Basically put 5 or 6 people in each camp. And there's other strats like this, but what we do a little bit differently is we have the melee a little bit more mobile. You see a lot of strats where people are just completely standing still. They won't move to interact with the flames. But what we do, we have a caster group on the far side, and once they're making the switch right now. As soon as that one dies, they just flip-flop. So we wait for raid damage to subside a little bit, and then they switch so that the little fireballs don't do a lot of damage. Okay, now that the other one's dead, I have a lot more options. I don't have to worry about my range in relationship to the other guy. You know, there's a lot of issues I don't have to worry about anymore. Okay, mainly I'm just avoiding blaze now. I stood in that one for a little bit longer than I like to. However, I called it out on an event that I was going to be taking additional damage, so it's okay when you do that. Just be ready to use a cooldown. So we've pretty much got the phase on lockdown right now. I still need to be careful, obviously, those things, but I can take different routes now. I don't have to necessarily maintain my path. Going back to earlier though, the reason that I do the path that I do, I keep them on the inside for the first trip to the opposite side, then I go on the outside. If your pace is proper, if it's like exactly like this, by the time you're ready to head back, the flames in the middle will just be despawning. So it'll be like completely starting over, like in a rotation. It takes a little bit of practice, but the reason I'm making this video is to save you guys a few wipes whoever's watching this, because it really, this is a difficult part of the fight. Okay, just remember that the blue beam is paramount. Do not get hit by it. If you stay within the confines of this little area that I am, you're guaranteed to not have any problems with tethering. Don't use pets. I suggest the 4-camp strategy. It really minimizes raid damage. As you can see, those little blue fire blasts hitting the ground. We have very few times where we have raid damage issues. And here, if you have warriors that want to do it, run in, Ice Shield, Reflect, kill as much of that stuff as you can to make some room. Not really necessary, but it does pad the damage meters. So, good luck, and thank you for watching.